World War II reshaped the map of Eastern Europe in dramatic and often tragic ways. Among the most complex and contentious episodes was the Soviet occupation of Poland and the Baltic states, Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania, beginning in 1939 and continuing through much of the war. While the Soviet Union played a decisive role in defeating Nazi Germany, its policies in these territories sowed deep resentment and had lasting consequences for regional politics and identities. This article explores the circumstances, actions, and legacy of the Soviet occupation of Poland and the Baltics during World War II. The context: Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact. In August 1939, the Soviet Union and Nazi Germany signed the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact, a non-aggression treaty that secretly divided Eastern Europe into spheres of influence. As part of this agreement, the Soviet Union gained the green light to assert control over eastern Poland and the Baltic states. Occupation of eastern Poland. Soviet invasion. On September 17, 1939, shortly after Germany invaded western Poland, the Red Army entered eastern Poland, claiming to protect ethnic Ukrainians and Belarusians. Sovietization. The Soviets quickly imposed communist rule, dissolving Polish government institutions, confiscating land, and suppressing political opposition. Repression. Thousands of Polish military officers, intellectuals, and citizens were arrested, deported to labor camps, or executed. The most infamous atrocity was the Katyn Massacre, 1940, where the NKVD executed about 22,000 Polish officers and elites. Forced deportations. Large-scale deportations to Siberia and remote regions stripped communities of their leaders and disrupted society. Annexation and occupation of the Baltic states. In June 1940, the Soviet Union occupied Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania, installing pro-Soviet governments and formally annexing them as Soviet republics by August. The occupation was accompanied by mass arrests, deportations, and executions targeting political leaders, military officers, and perceived enemies of the people. Soviet authorities suppressed cultural institutions, banned independent political parties, and integrated the Baltic economies and societies into the USSR. These actions sparked widespread resentment and laid the groundwork for decades of resistance. Impact on local populations. The occupations devastated local elites and led to significant loss of life. Many in Poland and the Baltics initially saw the Soviet Union as an oppressor, especially after witnessing the harsh repressions. Resistance movements, including partisan groups, emerged in response to Soviet rule as well as the later Nazi occupation. The changing front and aftermath. In 1941, Nazi Germany broke the pact and invaded the Soviet Union, overrunning the Baltic states and eastern Poland. The Soviets reoccupied these territories in 1944–45 as they pushed westward. Post-war, the Baltics remained Soviet republics until 1991, and Poland became a Soviet-aligned communist state. Contested memories and legacy. The Soviet occupation remains a deeply sensitive and contested chapter in Eastern European history. For many Poles and Baltic peoples, it is remembered as a period of repression, loss of sovereignty, and suffering. Russia often emphasizes the Soviet Union's role in liberating these nations from Nazi occupation, framing the earlier Soviet control as a complex historical necessity. This clash of narratives affects contemporary politics and relations in the region. The Soviet occupation of Poland and the Baltic states during World War II was a multifaceted and tragic episode marked by repression, resistance, and profound political change. While the Soviet Union's role in defeating Nazi Germany is undeniable, its actions in these territories left scars that continue to influence the political and cultural landscape of Eastern Europe today. Understanding this history is essential to grasping the complex legacies of the war and the challenges of post-war reconciliation.